All right, let's go back to the Premier League. We have the top half of the standings now, Craig, and it will make sense because we're going to talk about Chelsea.
What did the bottom half?
No bottom half because Chelsea are in 7th spot, and we have a lot of Chelsea. We've got a lot of you guys.
Yeah, but why are we talking about Chelsea?
Because we're going to analyze their season so far.
To be fair,
we're going to analyze. We have Mario back.
3 of you for Chelsea.
Exactly, we have 3 ex-Chelsea boys here.
If anybody says world champions, you're out.
I won't say.
Go on then.
What?
Get out.
Yeah, but I was
You just said it.
You just said it. You just said it.
Can I leave?
Craig will happily leave right now.
Just tell him I said you could go.
If you said I can go, I'm good.
No, but we just want to try. Mario, let's start with you on this one then. Looking at Chelsea's season, how much we can read into it so far. 7th position. Not going to mention the world champions thing because I'm tethered to the table, so I can't really leave or walk out. But how would you analyze Chelsea's season so far?
I think it's a team that comes back. We cannot call it, so like Craig said, but they came out of their trophy, started the season off, and had some glimpses, of course, you understand. I think, of course, people will look at the injury, but you also have to remember you have a team full of numbers. So they have a big injury list. But if you look at the games that they played, some of the games I also like, some were surprise losses, and some were like, clearly, like you could see, like, okay, they lost against Brighton. That one was, I think, one of the ones that hurt them really badly because they outplayed them really by far. And so for me, like when I watch them, I see like there is still something, you know, like you see those young boys and they're trying really hard and doing it, but some of the key things are not clicking. And when you have big games, like I given the last couple of games, like I saw Caicedo play, for example, also injured. Fernandes couldn't make it to his own team now, also got the injury. And of course, one of the key figures is Palmer for that team. And he's out, and it looks like he's going to be out for a longer period of time. So that's going to be a really, really big miss for them. So that means there's 3 players in the middle of the park of your team. It's not going to look as steady as they're trying to get it.
Well, 2 of those games in the last 3. So the Liverpool game, they were excellent. I think we all agree. The way that they pressed, the way that they played, the tempo, their creativity, and they defended. They had, the back 4 was a makeshift back 4. I think they had 10 injuries. The other 2 games were, the Brighton game they dominated, but again, these 2 games, Brighton and United, hinged on red cards. João Pedro, who got sent off, I think he just come on in the Brighton game. That turned that game. Brighton got late goals. The Man United game was a difficult one to judge. United won, but Sánchez was sent off in 5 minutes. And then Maresca had some sort of panic up. All right, Cole Palmer got injured, had to take him off, but he substituted Neto and somebody else. I can't remember who it was. Was it Estêvão? He substituted 2 players very, very early. He just had this panic, and that never left him in the outball. So United really penned them in. So those games are difficult to judge. In terms of the season. The Liverpool game, if they could somehow take that consistency, that type of performance into most weeks, then they're going to have a good season. But again, the disciplinary issues, João Pedro wasn't terrible, but it was a high boot. He was already on a yellow. And Robert Sánchez he came out, he made a bad decision, and it was always going to be a red. Those things are going to cost you. Did we see the real Chelsea in the Liverpool game? That's the big question going forward.
Right. Yeah. Can they produce that every time they step on the field?
Most weeks.
Now, the majority of teams in the Premier League this year can't do that. So they're not alone. But along with the red cards, along with the injuries, along with the questionable decisions from the manager, they've never quite been able to put just any sort of run together. And that is why they're in 7th. Because talent-wise, they should be way up the table. But they can't get it together. But as I said, the majority of the teams in the Premier League are in the same position.
Well, Frank, Mario mentioned it, and we always kind of poke fun at it when we're talking about Chelsea, just the fact that they do have a lot of bodies. We know about their squad numbers already, but looking at this Chelsea now, what would their best 11 be in your opinion?
Well, the best 11 will be with centre backs not injured already, with Tozin and Colwill. That's for me key because they lost Badiashile and Uchimpong as well, and James, I'm happy with James. James does the job. He's a real skipper, and we can feel that he's the power in that team. So we have to get back to Palmer as well. We want to see Palmer back and make sure that he can be the leader in the middle of the park. Caicedo and Fernandez have been very good, especially Caicedo. And Caicedo, worth the amount of money, the price tag that the club put on him, because he's proving to the world that he's the equivalent of the players like we had, like N'Golo Kante, like what is his name, Makelele as well, and those players that we all cheered and appreciated. I'm really fan of Neto. That's why I put him. I'm more on the right side, but in the way that I want them to play, I think the only position that he can go is on the left side. But that team, like Stevie said, and like any other team, they have a lack of consistency. If they can get that little bit more consistency, less players injured after, less disciplinary errors, yeah, they can have a good season. But we can see sometimes the best against Liverpool and the worst, I would say, against Brighton. And that's what it is.
I just think he's got too many mistakes in him. When the ball goes back to his feet,
And then Sánchez.
Robert Sánchez, he takes all these chances. He takes all these chances, and you'll see him make some great saves, don't get me wrong. Some really good saves, but there's too many mistakes. If you look at Liverpool, they've got Alisson and Stevie's mate, the Georgian,
Mamadashvili, yeah.
Oh, he's in the mirror again.
You got David Raya at Arsenal, who he's been very consistent. And you got Donnarumma now at Manchester City. You could argue he's in the top 3 in the world. For Chelsea, that is, I think, an issue. They can't address it now, probably not going to address it in January, but that is an issue. If your goalkeeper's making bad decisions and mistakes, he for me would be a concern. What about you, Stevie?
100%. I think the biggest problem that Chelsea have is that little triangle between the goal and the 2 centre-backs. You know, for me, Colwill is the only one that I particularly can rely on when he starts. Yes, they did well against Liverpool last time out, but yeah, that little triangle with the goalkeeper and the 2 centre-backs, I think is where Chelsea's Achilles heel is.
Mario, your thoughts on what the boys just had to say?
Yeah. I think sometimes you understand when you look at the back, right, where the guys are talking about the stability, is that sometimes they take too much risk. In the sense of like the goalkeeper, Sánchez, sometimes he has the ball, he takes too much time on the ball. Sometimes you make the decision that you make has to be an easy decision. And the more he lingers with the ball on, the more uncomfortability he brings to his defensive line. And I think that's one of the key things that he has to be careful with, because if not, people are not going to... Well, I mean, you as a player, you don't want to play the ball back, you kick it out. You don't want that. So I feel like those are the kind of things. I think like clearly why we all talk about the Liverpool game is because I think Chelsea played Liverpool from an angle of like... They won the league, and now we have to prove a point. And I think that was one of the clear points that I see. I saw in Frank's team, I saw Gusto standing. Gusto played against McAllister, for example, what we talked about. He didn't even focus on the game. He was just clearly focusing on him. So little things like that, what Chelsea did against the bigger team where the focus was up to speed and they did everything, I think they have to do it also against the respectfully smaller teams, because that is where they're going to win games, and that's where they're going to get everybody to understand what they have to do away from the injuries that we talk about. Because like Estêvão, for example, a young talent, I love watching him, the way he takes people on. I want to see him play, but he cannot play when you have a young player coming into a team if the team is not stable yet, because then he will start drowning too. So in that sense, I hope the young talents that really want to make the game and influence the game, I hope the team picks it up, because if not, it will be even harder for the young talents to break in.
Their fullbacks have been affected, haven't they? I mean, if you're playing the game today, if we were playing the game today, you'd want to punch Cucurella. But he's effective.
Yeah, he's effective.
No, I mean,
he's right.
If you said that if there was one player playing the day, you say, who would you want to lay one on? It would probably be him. But he's effective. He's a nuisance and he's effective. And I tell you what, he ran. He asked the question of Mo Salah in the Liverpool game: do you want to run that way? Do you want to run back? Because he powered forward. And on the other side, Reece James, he looked as if his career was going to be a difficult one with injury.
Yeah.
But touch wood for him, he seems to have put that behind him, and he's a good footballer. He's strong, he's quick, he can pass it, he can step into midfield, he can play centre half. As long as he stays fit and Cucurella on the other side stays as lively and as whatever you want,
as possible.
Annoying and all that sort of stuff. They are very, very effective. As Stevie said, it's whoever's in the middle two and the goalkeeper. That's kind of the area where they cough things up. If they can figure that out and put a run together, they could have a good season.
I love that. Annoying but effective. I feel like that sounds
Well, he is, isn't he?
That sounds like us on ESPN FC. We're annoying but effective.
Oh, we're hated.
Well, people keep sending in their questions, so after the show, make sure to join us in for Extra Time. We've got Frank, we've got Mario, Craig, and Stevie. All got plenty questions for the boys, so you're going to want to...
Right then, Blues faithful, let's have a proper chat about where Chelsea are at this season, because there's quite a lot to unpack, isn't there? 7 games into the Premier League campaign, and Chelsea find themselves sat in 7th position with 11 points on the board. Now, before anyone starts panicking, let's take a proper look at what's actually going on at Stamford Bridge under Enzo Maresca. The Italian has had quite the journey already with the Blues, hasn't he? He came in during the summer of 2024, won the Conference League in his first season, lifted the Club World Cup in July, and now he's trying to build consistency in the league. It's a fascinating story that's still being written, week by week. And listen, if you're enjoying this deep dive into all things Chelsea, and want to stay ahead of every twist and turn at Stamford Bridge, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We're bringing you the latest news, tactical breakdowns, and honest analysis that every proper Chelsea supporter needs to hear. Don't miss out on any of the action, Blues family. Hit subscribe, and let's keep this conversation going. So what's the real story behind this season's start? Well, the injury list has been absolutely mental, hasn't it? We're talking about a makeshift defence in some matches, key midfielders missing, and the biggest blow of all, Cole Palmer's ongoing groin problems. The England international has been struggling with this injury since the Club World Cup back in July, and it's expected he won't return until November at the earliest. When you look at players like Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez both struggling with fitness at various points, and then Palmer missing significant time, that's 3 absolutely crucial players in the middle of the park who haven't been able to get on the pitch together consistently. That's going to hurt any side, let alone one trying to establish itself in the top 4. But here's where it gets interesting. That Liverpool performance on 4 October. Bloody hell, that was something special, wasn't it? Chelsea looked absolutely brilliant that day, and young Estêvão scored a stunning 95th minute winner to seal a 2-1 victory over the reigning champions. The 8-year-old Brazilian, who officially joined Chelsea in August after his move was agreed last summer, showed exactly why the club paid up to £51 million for him. The pressing, the tempo, the creativity throughout that match, Chelsea went toe-to-toe with the champions and came out on top. The back 4 was patched together with injuries everywhere, but they defended superbly. If Maresca can somehow bottle that performance and reproduce it week in, week out, then Chelsea will have themselves a very good season indeed. The problem? Discipline. Red cards have absolutely killed Chelsea in crucial moments this season. Robert Sánchez getting sent off against Manchester United on 20 September, just 5 minutes into the match for a rash challenge on Bryan Mbeumo, completely changed that game. Chelsea were down to 10 men for 85 minutes and ended up losing 2-1. That's never going to end well, is it? And it's not the first time Sánchez has made questionable decisions that have cost the team points. Speaking of Sánchez, there's a conversation that needs to be had about the goalkeeper position. Look, he makes some brilliant saves, there's no denying that. He even won the Golden Glove at the Club World Cup with some exceptional performances, particularly in the final against Paris Saint-Germain. But there are too many mistakes creeping into his game in the league. Too many moments where he takes unnecessary risks with the ball at his feet or makes rash decisions coming off his line. When you compare him to what Liverpool have with Alisson, what Arsenal have with David Raya, or what Manchester City now have with Gianluigi Donnarumma, all arguably top 3 in the world, you can see where Chelsea might have an issue. Maybe not something that can be addressed in January, probably not realistic, but it's definitely something to consider going forward. The defence is another interesting point. When everyone's fit, when you've got Tosin Adarabioyo at centre-back, alongside a healthy partner, there's quality there. But Levi Colwill suffered a devastating ACL rupture in training shortly after the Club World Cup and is expected to miss most of this season. That's a massive blow. Wesley Fofana has also had his injury issues under concussion protocols. The fullbacks, though, they've been genuinely excellent. Marc Cucurella has been a proper nuisance, the kind of player opponents absolutely hate playing against, but who's incredibly effective for his team. He asked serious questions of Mohamed Salah in that Liverpool match, constantly bombing forward and making Salah think twice about whether he fancied tracking back. On the other side, Reece James has looked like he's finally put those injury nightmares behind him, touch wood. He's strong, quick, can step into midfield when needed, and he's a proper footballer. Against Liverpool, he even had to fill in at centre-back due to all the defensive injuries, showing his versatility. If he stays fit and Cucurella maintains this level of annoying brilliance, Chelsea have got themselves two very effective fullbacks who can compete with anyone in the league. The midfield has real quality when healthy. Caicedo has been excellent this season, justifying that massive price tag Chelsea paid. He's the kind of player who can control games, break up play, and drive the team forward. Fernandes brings creativity and technical quality. But without Palmer, Chelsea lose that spark in the final third. That player who can unlock defences with a moment of magic. It's why his return is so crucial for the rest of the season. And then there's Estêvão. What a moment that was against Liverpool, scoring the winner in injury time on just his 4th appearance for the club. The teenager has incredible composure for someone so young. He's already shown glimpses of why Chelsea see him as a potential generational talent. But as we've seen with other young players, you can't throw them into a team that's still searching for consistency and expect miracles every week. They need a stable platform to truly flourish. The bigger picture is this. Chelsea are a team still finding themselves under Maresca. They've shown they can match the very best on their day. That Liverpool performance proves it beyond doubt. But they can't seem to string together any consistency. One week they're exceptional, beating the champions. The next, they're getting points dropped in matches they should be controlling. The talent is clearly there in the squad. The depth is there as well, even with all these injuries. What's missing is that week-in, week-out reliability that separates good teams from great ones. And to be fair to Chelsea, they're not alone in this struggle. Most teams in the Premier League this season have been inconsistent. It's been a strange campaign, where very few sides have managed to put together proper winning runs. But that doesn't change the fact that with the quality Chelsea possess, with the investment that's been made, 7th position isn't where they want to be. The aim has always been Champions League football, and right now, they're on the outside looking in, just 5 points off the top 4, but needing to be more consistent to bridge that gap. So for Chelsea, the priority is clear. Get that defensive triangle sorted, goalkeeper, and the 2 centre-backs need to be reliable every single week. Cut out the silly red cards that are costing valuable points. Get Palmer back fit and firing. Keep the likes of Caicedo and Fernandes healthy, and continue to integrate young talents like Estêvão carefully, giving them the platform to succeed rather than drowning them in pressure. If Maresca can solve those puzzles, if Chelsea can channel that Liverpool performance more regularly, if they can get through this injury crisis and find some rhythm, then there's absolutely no reason they can't climb this table and secure that Champions League spot thereafter. The quality is there, the potential is obvious, the recent trophy success shows this group can win when it matters, but potential and trophies from last season mean nothing without consistent results right now. That's the challenge facing Chelsea in the weeks ahead. And it's one they need to meet head-on if they want to turn this season around and get back where this club belongs, competing at the very top of English football.